Well, it's that time of the year again where grade 10 to 12 pupils sit and write their year-end exams. And in preparation, we have an exciting opportunity for scholars to join the Shakespeare Club to get ready for their English exams. The Shakespeare Club is an initiative that runs throughout the year by Master Shakespearian Dr Rohan Quince, allowing school learners in Gauteng to turbocharge their English ability and help pupils that are interested to improve their grades at school. Tamara Guhrs is CEO of NCT, and she joins us now to speak further on this. A very good evening to you, Tamara. Thanks so very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Thanks, Flo.
I know I'd be slaughtered for asking this, but is Shakespeare still relevant today? I know in my day in school, we had quite a few of his books as set work. But I wonder in today's era, how relevant really is Shakespeare?
It's a great question. I think that, it's one of those things that people still associate with a kind of colonial education or something like that. But if you can have an opportunity at a young age to study with somebody or learn from somebody who can get you past the intimidating language and into the rhythms and the poetry and the characters and the stories, then I think it absolutely does still have relevance. They're kind of timeless stories and timeless themes that sort of reveal our humanity to ourselves.
Yeah. Is there still a love for Shakespeare's work as there was? Are we still finding pockets of young learners who are indeed, really interested in Shakespeare like it was, in our days in school? What are we finding? What are the trends as we look at learners of today?
There's all kinds of little pockets of people who are doing really interesting things with Shakespeare. I've come across a kind of Shakespeare and hip hop group, I think that fits somewhere, which is actually not that far fetched because the rhythms of iambic pentameter, as we were, if you remember learning that from school, are actually, they kind of take you into poetry and a different way of expression that we don't have to think of Shakespeare as this kind of dusty, archaic form of literature.
Yeah, and I suppose with the advent of social media and things like TikTok, there's lots of opportunity to reenact some of those scenes, not necessarily seeing them, on stage plays necessarily, but it's becoming more and more relevant. But talk to us about the Shakespeare Club, really, and what it's about. I understand that it is an initiative indeed to help learners who want to improve their grades. Talk to us more about it.
We've got two initiatives around Shakespeare at National Children's Theatre, and the one which is our regular Saturday afternoon Shakespeare Club is, I think before COVID, I can't remember how many people they actually had, but it's quite it's a multi-age group, so we've got children as young as 10 and as old as 17 or 18 who just get together on a Saturday and grapple with the text under the guidance of Dr. Rohan Quince, who really helps to demystify and find the, those themes of love and passion and ambition and power, and he really takes it to that sort of level.
Yeah.
And then we've also got we're lucky enough this year and next year to have Lucy Wilde, who's also got a fantastic approach to directing the set works, where she does with just 5 actors who play multiple roles. It's quite rough and ready, and again, it's very accessible way of coming to the texts.
Yeah.
And kind of culminates in a showcase, the Shakespeare Club, at the end of the year. We've got, I think they're doing King Lear, like a staged reading of it. But we also run a Shakespeare festival where school children and schools can enter their monologues and their scenes. Yeah. And it's quite a vibrant, I think it's a week-long festival that they have in June.
All right, let's wrap up our conversation, a rather strange one here, but My question is, are we finding that, Shakespeare, first of all, was a poet, a playwright, and, obviously passionate about the English language. And, we have things like autocorrect. We have, different ways now. Young people have different ways of spelling things and their own sort of lingo. Is it more difficult, given that there isn't necessarily the strict way of doing English anymore, like we used to, with students?
I mean, the other side of that is ChatGPT, right? Where
Yes.
we could, I suppose, get ChatGPT to write me a shopping list in the style of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a creative approach to education in terms of literature and performing arts and spelling, and I'm not of the school. I mean, I'm not an English teacher, so I guess I'm lucky, but in that regard, I'm not of the school where we have to go for absolute correctness and the right way of doing grammar and so on. I think that there's something incredibly vibrant and exciting about the way we're almost reinventing language, and we must remember that that's what Shakespeare was doing as well. I mean, so many of the idioms that we have come from Shakespeare just making stuff up, making up words, making phrases, and language is dynamic. So that's my take on it.
Excellent point indeed. Tamara, thanks very much for talking to us. We appreciate your time.